While it's not for everyone, exploring the endless library of old PC games has always been a fun experience with me. Sometimes you stumble upon a fun franchise fall into obscurity, enjoyable freeware trash made with Game Maker, the stuff you'd remember from a shareware collection CD, even fun little Java games. But you risk finding complete garbage, and then you find something like a Resturaunt game. The Resturaunt game sounds like a meme game with its title, but it's not. It's an experiment to study how people behave in an online game. This was out in 2007 by the way, several years after the launch of Second Life. With this title screen showing a delicious steak dinner, I boot it up, and I'm already seeing a problem. This furniture's ripped from The Sims 2. Ballsy considering expansions were still coming out, but it's not like this was being sold for money. Then the second problem, the mouse feels a little sensitive, so I go to adjust and there's barely an option. But these volume sliders reminds me of Blockland, which not only came out the same year but uses the same engine. Fun times. With that out of the way, it's tutorial time. It orders me to walk into the kitchen and use the microwave. Exciting. Now it asks us to use the most useful feature of the game, looking at objects. I test this out on the chef first. Frightening. Next up it's the bartender. Beautiful. Next up, we're told to sit at the table with the salmon and low poly salad. Our reward. We get to eat. Wouldn't be a restaurant sim if we can't eat. Especially if we can't eat the delicious flowers. Delicious. Now we have to pick something up. Of course I test this out on the bartender instead of obeying. If I could laugh, I'd be on the floor, but instead I am head desking. Still recovering, I accidentally pick up the microwave instead of the processor, unintentionally fixing the function of the room. I obey the tutorial and nicely done. You can also give objects to other players. Instead we're meant to clean up after ourselves, and are told how to read a menu and order food. If it's on the menu, you just say the name.
Give me a drink, bartender.
No need to say please, but you really should. That's called being polite.
Fish!
Today's fish is trout à la crème.
Fish!
Today's fish is trout à la crème.
Fish!
Today's fish is trout à la crème.
Last up on the tutorial, it's handling bills. Our low poly salad and more poly salmon was already paid for. Now we just cash it in. And we can also create bills for role-playing purposes and all that. I don't leave a tip because I don't deserve one. And after all that, you finally learn to cook. You done the tutorial. Go explore or some smeg like that. The exit is outside. Well, excuse me for wanting to cook things in a restaurant game called the Resturaunt game. With the tutorial complete, we leave. If the servers were still open. The servers shut down many years ago, but I think you could get a similar experience with Roblox. So you have to make your own fun. We start exploring outside this minimalistic masterpiece of architecture. Just beautiful. Exploration doesn't last long with the invisible walls. Only things to see is where they gave up on this road, those distant docks and a few trees. Trees. Looking at the terrain on the Torg engine once again reminds me of Blockland. Fun times until the creator killed the game by getting rid of maps in favor of fancier lighting and shadows. Way to listen to your entire player base. Did you know you can sit on almost anything, even people? Delicious. You can also stack things and still sit on them. This gives me an idea. Can't drop things on the floor unfortunately, so no breaking out of the invisible walls, but we can break through the ceiling by stacking beers. Well, so much for that. But it was worth a try.